Please note that the Port and the A's are in an exclusive negotiating term sheet agreement that will expire at midnight tomorrow, May 12, 2023. The board will not be taking any action related to Howard Terminal project today, as there are no open session items agendized for this matter.
Thank you very much, Secretary Edgerly, for that. And Ms. Port Attorney, do we have any closed session items on today's agenda?
Yes, President Leslie, we do. We have the following items for closed session. First, 1.1, conference with legal counsel existing litigation, East Oakland Stadium Alliance et al. Versus the City of Oakland et al. Second is conference with real property negotiator. There's one matter. The property at 1 Market Street, commonly referred to as Howard Terminal. Negotiating parties are the Oakland Athletics and the Port of Oakland, and this is under discussion for price and terms of payment. Third is threat to public safety or facilities, consultation with Kyle Mobley, Director of Information and Technology, and Chris Hanna, IT Security Manager. And fourth is conference with labor negotiators with employee organizations, International Federation of Professional and Technical Engineers, Local 21, Service Employees International Union, Local 1021, Western Council of Engineers, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 1245, and unrepresented employees and Port Employee Units H&M. That concludes the items for closed session.
Okay, thank you. Are we open now to accepting our public speakers?
Yes, if it's okay with you, President Leslie, I'd like to take the speakers in the room first, and then we can move to the speakers.
Absolutely, and thank you for being here, everyone.
Our first speaker is Nick Danoff.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Nick Danoff. I'm an Oakland District 3 resident and a co-founder of the Howard Terminal Waterfront Coalition. First, we would like to thank the Port for all their hard work prepping the Howard Terminal site for development. Second, we want to express our continued support for the A's, the Port, and the City of Oakland coming to a deal on a stadium development at Howard Terminal. Our message to the A's is this: get back to the negotiating table. The upside of building at Howard Terminal is far superior to the options you've been looking at in Las Vegas. Howard Terminal offers more opportunity for nearby development. The open-air stadium could be built much more cost-effectively, and you have an established, passionate fan base here with much less competition for local entertainment dollars. Should the A's resume negotiations, we strongly encourage the Port and City of Oakland to work with urgency to try to come to an agreement with the A's. In the meantime, we urge the Port and City to proactively identify efficiencies that could shorten the expected timeline to build at Howard Terminal. This would negate the main talking point that the A's have been using lately to criticize the site. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Carla Collins.
Hello, I'm Carla Collins. I'm with Signet Testing Labs. We've been headquartered in Alameda County since 1966. I sit on the board of directors with CMA, Construction Management Association of America. And today I'm also here with Nick on behalf of Howard Terminal Waterfront Coalition. And I just want to second everything that Nick just said. And just want to encourage you and thank you for working on this deal so long, and want to, hopefully continue the process after tomorrow. So thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is William Dow.
Good morning, or good afternoon. My name is William Dow. I'm a member of ILW Local 6, retired, and a member of our Northern California District Council. I'm here to support labor movement on the port. It's a vital industry for this area, and it could be damaged by if the A's took over that, whether you believe it or not. And Howard Terminal can be used for other things. You keep saying it isn't, but it can be. But it's too important for this labor movement to continue here. It's a vital interest. And, if you spent 5 years fooling around with the A's, it's time to get back to the port and let this, the Howard Terminal go back to port designation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Melvin McKay.
Good afternoon. Melvin McKay from ILW. As Bill just said, We've been hemming and hawing for 4 years with the Howard Terminal. It is being used as it is today, and you guys need to take it out of port use for tight land trust, send it back. The A's have been playing cat and mouse with us for 4 years, and we all know it. We knew from the beginning this is a shot in the dark. But I think it's time for us to either shut up or put up. The A's are gone. I don't know how long they're going to be gone, but they're constantly stipulating that they want to be in Las Vegas. They want to buy the Tropicana. They want to tear it down. But they have disrupted Oakland immensely. They have disrupted the workforce immensely. They have disrupted the shipping industry immensely. And we all know it. We got to stop playing this game. As we all know, either we hold them or we fold them. And it's time to fold. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Brian.
And with that, we'll move to our speakers on Zoom. And our first speaker is Kai. Kai, you have been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Oh, hi there. Got a cold. Yeah, hello, Port Commissioners. My name is Kai Chang, a 40-plus year resident of Oakland since childhood. I've been a supporter of the Howard Terminal project as an Oakland resident first and a baseball fan second. It'll revitalize the Oakland downtown and waterfront while creating jobs and housing. I hope whatever the port decides on the ENA, that they remain receptive to the A's should they seek to continue a project that is so very close to the finish line. As for any A's representatives listening, I've been following the Vegas developments, and I just don't see how the sites mentioned so far offer you all the benefits the Bay Area would. There may be more upfront costs here, but the financial gains here are certain and will be massive. While building Howard Terminal would stand as a shining legacy to the Fisher family legacy of philanthropy and public projects in the Bay Area, relocating the A's would tarnish it for generations. I realize everybody's really upset right now, but you just need to only look at Joe Lacob being booed for 5 minutes in his debut as the Warriors owner to see how quickly things can change between fans and owners. So I hope you guys will all reflect and come back to the table for that one last push to get the development agreement done for such a win-win project. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Keith Matting. Keith, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having us. Keith Matting, Inland Boatmen's Union. I've been a maritime professional for 45 years. I support keeping Howard Terminal for maritime use. The Port of Oakland is a vital link for trade in Northern California region. Previous conversations regarding the port infrastructure had frequently promoted Oakland's place as a trading partner in the Pacific Rim. Short-sighted real estate interests do not regard foreign trade in any of these conversations. The Northern California region is a vital link for maritime trade. As for the port commissioners, none of you guys is a maritime professional, and these decisions reflect that. Thank you for your time. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Maggie Lewis. Maggie, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Margie Lewis, and I'm an Oakland resident. I am speaking to encourage the commission to absolutely not come to a deal on billionaire Fisher's luxury real estate development. The Port of Oakland is the third busiest port in the state and a vital main entry point for goods moving across Northern California. Therefore, it was never the right choice for an entertainment and mega sports development. By having this exclusive negotiating agreement expire, the A's and Port have removed a major threat to thousands of jobs at the working waterfront. The Oakland A's have made it abundantly clear that they were not negotiating in good faith when they announced they had signed a binding agreement to purchase land for a future ballpark in Las Vegas. I encourage the commission to focus on creating an open process and a renewed commitment to industrial maritime use at Howard Terminal. The seaport community looks forward to working with the city, the port, the stakeholders, and to ensure the Howard Terminal and the working waterfront continue to be the vibrant hub of the region's economy. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Hal Gordon. Hal, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, my name is Hal Gordon. I'm a former vendor at the Coliseum. I just want to speak to both the city and the A's. To the city, I really hope you'll move heaven and earth to show that Howard Terminal can be built quickly. Dave Cavell has said that the difference in time in building is the difference in why they've picked Vegas. Call his bluff. Show that the city can build Howard Terminal quickly. To the A's, I've gotten to know thousands of your fans as a vendor, and I know that many of them have given you 55 years of their lives as fans. And many more have given their entire lives who are younger than 55 as fans and customers. And if you're going to leave just because of a difference in 2 or 3 years and how fast you can build a stadium, it's a bad thing to do. It's a scummy thing to do, and I hope you come back to the table.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Bernice Crager. Bernice, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Good afternoon. Bernice Crager on behalf of the California Trucking Association. Here to relay the argument that Howard Terminal was never the right place for this development. Our association, along with PMSA, Union Pacific, ILWU, and other goods movement stakeholders have shared our concerns regarding the negative impacts that this proposed terminal development would have. As the 6th largest port in the United States, the Port of Oakland is an extremely critical gateway for many California businesses, in specific the agricultural sector out of the Central Valley. In addition to his role as the key gateway, the Port of Oakland directly supports more than 80,000 local jobs. At a time when leaders are working for ports, local governments to ease the congestion at the supply chain, this is not the place, and we ask that you do not reconsider this project again. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Evie. Evie, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself. Evie, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself. Evie, will come back to you. Oh. Evie, go ahead. Oh, Evie, you can unmute yourself. Sorry about that.
Okay. You can hear me now?
Yes.
Great. Thank you. Hello, my name is Evie Wong. I'm representing the Customs Brokers for Orders Association of Northern California, users of the port services. I'm joining today to urge the term sheet to expire and that the Port of Oakland get back to the business of seaport maritime business. The resources at the port and adjacent lands are best prioritized for our regional port, for our agricultural exports, and the further business of our what we do best here for maritime, and to support development, present and future investment for our waterfront, which has been sustained throughout the years and sustains to support the city of Oakland. Lastly, I just wanted to say that the A's deal with Las Vegas proves that their insistence on waterfront development was never about a stadium. It was about their own development for land.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Max Alper. Max, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for having me. My name is Max Alper. I'm an Oakland resident. When this whole thing kicked off 4 years ago, the A's were talking about no public funds and that they're deeply rooted in Oakland. Clearly, their move to Las Vegas shows that they weren't negotiating with the city in good faith. Why would we want to continue an abusive relationship with a billionaire owner at the expense of the working men and women at the waterfront? Howard Terminal is a viable spot. Port of Oakland brings in a lot of money into Oakland for the residents, and why don't we just keep developing it as a viable waterfront gateway to trade as it should be? Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Dennis Biles. Dennis, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, my name is Dennis Biles. I just wanted to thank the Port Commission, as well as also thank the City Council, if they might be listening, any members of them, for all the hard work they did. I'm an A's season ticket holder the past 15 years now. I haven't missed a home game in 5 years. In fact, I'll be there tonight. I already paid for the whole season, unfortunately. I really think that it is possible for the stadium project to happen as well as not hurt maritime interests. As we've seen in Seattle, they have beautiful sports facilities up there that are right next to the port, and it hasn't caused any problems up there, at least not that I know of. It is possible. However, for whatever A's representatives that might be listening, I just want to say, you've really been negotiating in bad faith all these years. Your recent move to gain leverage in the city of Oakland blew up in your face. I'm glad the mayor pulled your card on it. And honestly, just now, I'm more embarrassed than ever. I don't wear my A's gear out in public. If you guys leave, I will not follow the team, especially since this project was, pretty close to getting done. I wouldn't say at the goal line, but it was almost there. And I urge you guys to get back to the table or I will hate you forever. Thank you very much. Have a good day, everyone.
Our next speaker is Will Stein. Will, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm on my mail delivery route, so forgive me if you hear any mailman noises. But I just wanted to voice my support of continuing any potential negotiations between the port and the Oakland A's. I understand it's been incredibly difficult last couple weeks for Oakland residents and A's fans, but the deal is tremendously close to being done if both sides are willing to continue to negotiate in good faith. I understand that the port jobs are important, but I do think that there is a way to make this a win-win scenario for Oakland and the port and the A's. And I'd really like everyone to consider, what will be developed in downtown Oakland if the A's do not develop it. I worry that it won't be developed at all. And to the A's, I would just like them to let me love them as much as I like to commit to.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mike Jacob. Mike, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you. Good afternoon, President Leslie, Commissioners. Mike Jacob with Pacific Merchant Shipping Association, representing ocean carriers, marine terminal operators. Thank you for the opportunity to address you early before closed session today. We are looking forward to working with the port and the city to ensure that Howard Terminal continues to be an important component of our regional international trade infrastructure and moving forward with conversations regarding land use planning, the Turning Basin Widening Project, upgrades to our electric grid that really will be enhanced by the opportunity to have those discussions with Howard Terminal back in the constellation of potential assets to address those key issues. We have had several different planning conversations that have been interrupted and or suspended or both due to the pendency of this conversation and litigation over Howard Terminal. It's been a distraction. We're looking forward to getting back to those conversations with port staff. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Theodore Alic. Theodore, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Theodore Alic. I am a East Bay native. I've been here my entire life. I would like to thank all of you for all your hard work. I'm a big Oakland A's fan. I've been an Oakland A's fan since I was a little boy. Some of my greatest memories in my life are being at A's games in the Coliseum with family and friends, some of whom are no longer with us. This whole situation is heartbreaking for me, and it's heartbreaking for a lot of fans. We've been through, East Bay fans and the community has been through enough heartache. Sometimes they say that two things come together are greater than the sum of their parts. And I truly believe that the city of Oakland and the A's are one of those circumstances where they're better off together. I truly believe in my heart that both the Oakland A's and the city of Oakland in some ways need each other. And I want to urge the Oakland Athletics humbly and respectfully to get back to the negotiating table and try to work out a deal. Thank you for your time. I appreciate all of you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Lori Baca. Lori, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Good afternoon. I want to thank the Port of Oakland. Hi, my name is Lori Baca. I'd like to thank the Port of Oakland, the City Council, and the Mayor for your hard work and negotiations of getting Howard Terminal across the finish line. I know that we're really close. I know that we've got as far as we could possibly get. I'm urging you that if the Oakland A's do indeed come back to the negotiations, that you continue to get Howard Terminal done. Howard Terminal will be a great asset to the city of Oakland, the fans. And I also want to say to the Oakland A's, I hope you guys do come back. You have a lot of fans. We're the best fans in baseball. We stood by you for years, and you guys continue to do this. Just come back. We'll forgive you. We'll go to games. Just make everything happen, because we are, like I said, the best fans in baseball, and we're here, and we'll do whatever we need to do. Thank you for your time, and thank you for keeping the negotiations open if you do that, and you all have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Jason Dreisbach. Jason, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, everybody, commissioners. I'm Jason Dreisbach with Port Oakland. I just want to say I think we dodged a bullet with the exclusive negotiating contract expiring, and point out the irony of the exclusive negotiating contract while the Port of Oakland sat in the middle of the biggest supply chain redevelopment in a generation, not able to formulate a long-term maritime use for Howard Terminal. The A's were open and running around to 3, 4, 5 different sites and playing both ends against the middle. So in my mind, I think we really need to take what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If the A's come back, at a minimum, they should have to sign an E&A for the Howard Terminal site. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Matthew McCarthy. Matthew, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, thank you, commissioners. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you for hosting this public forum today. And I just want to say, I think the arguments from the ILWU are a tad disingenuous at best. And, Howard Terminal hasn't been operational for decades, and it's pretty clear that nobody thought it's worth the investment to revamp it or make it, much bigger than it is, so it can accommodate modern freight. So I think it's just a disingenuous argument. And in terms of a union impact, I mean, it's just sitting there. It's got some storage containers on it, but it really isn't, being used for anything. And if anything, a new project would create thousands of union jobs during construction, and many more that will continue on through and become permanent. So I encourage the A's and the city and the port to come back together and get something done. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is MK Anderson. A reminder, please state your name for the record before you start speaking. MK, you've been unmuted.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank everyone for their work in this project. It continues to both baffle, I think, everyone, as well as, spur all kinds of Jekyll and Hyde thoughts, even for myself. As a multi-year season ticket holder of the A's, I follow some of the thoughts from the previous caller about if the port was so interesting, why has it been sitting there? As a season ticket holder, I definitely don't want to see the A's go. I can also fully support that it feels like, and I believe that the A's have been disingenuous in their thoughts and their actions. I feel strongly that if the fans of Oakland have not shown this council that they are behind having baseball here, I don't know what else we can do. I remain with the fans that are here, and I hope we still have baseball somehow in Oakland.
Can you please state your name for the record?
Mindy Anderson.
Thank you.
You bet.
Secretary Edgerly,
Yes.
why don't you reiterate the request to have folks speak? Well, she just asked for her name, but just generally speaking, for anybody who's on the call, please say your name at the beginning so that we can really focus on your comments throughout your 1 minute testimony. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is T. T, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, commissioners and brothers and sisters in labor. My name is Treville Arduan. I represent Local 10 ILWU. First thing I wanted to comment on was in regards to the gentleman that said that the ILWU is not doing anything at the terminals. Unfortunately for us, we don't build terminals, we merely work them. So we don't have a way to just say, you know, we want to increase work at a terminal. Additionally, I'm speaking against the A's Howard Terminal project. The waterfront already has a limited supply of port property as it relates to shipping. The city rarely gains new terminals, but we're constantly losing them. As I'm sure we can all remember seeing ships sitting idly by in the bay not too long ago. This hurts commerce and puts limits on Northern California's ability to pull its weight. Each terminal is vital to the flow and the supply chain of the West Coast. Please let the A's go. Thank you.
Thank you. Our last speaker is Daniel Andrews. Daniel, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself. Daniel, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself. Daniel, we'll come back to you.
Sorry about that.
There we go.
Is this working now?
Yes.
Hi there. My name is Daniel Andrews. I am an Alameda resident, and I didn't grow up here, so I'm not an A's fan. I actually grew up a Braves fan. But, you know, so my interest in this is just as a resident and a baseball fan in general. But just for the A's, if you're listening, you know, I drive up the 880 every day. You know, I see that sign out there that says rooted in Oakland, and that means something to a lot of people. And the friends and neighbors I've made along the way here, I know it means a lot to them. And, you know, if you guys move to Vegas, you know, you don't mean anything to those people. You're just a commodity on the strip. So, you know, I think it'd be worth your time to get back here to the negotiating table where these people love you. They appreciate you. You know, they don't deserve to be left. And there's only been 2 franchises ever that have left their cities, and that's kind of a black mark in the history of sports. So hoping you guys won't repeat that and you won't let all this work that these people have done to get this done go to waste. So thank you.
President Leslie, we did have another speaker raise their hand. Samantha Angulo. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Samantha, you've been unmuted. You can Samantha, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Samantha Brown, and I'm born and raised in Oakland, and I'm calling from Scotland because I had to move to the United Kingdom for more opportunities. It frustrates me so much that I had to move away for more economic opportunities. It equally frustrates me that Oakland is slowly becoming a place where only semi-truck drives through and bad faith actors use moments from our city to push negative stereotypes. Howard Terminal Project can change this and make Oakland a place that isn't just a place where Amazon drops off their cheap goods for trucks, but a place of pride and growth. And I really hope that the Oakland Athletics hears everyone who has come in support of them from all over California, all over the United States, and including myself and my family here in the United Kingdom in support of this project. Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Abby Delgado. Abby, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. My name is Abby Delgado, and I want to thank you, guys, the Port of Oakland, for having this meeting today and letting us discuss. I am originally not from the city of Oakland. I moved here about 15 years ago, and what attracted me to move to Oakland, California and the East Bay was the rich legacy that the Oakland A's brought. I have been a season ticket holder for about 10 years, and I see myself as a higher bracket resident. I work for one of the biggest hospitals here in the Bay Area, and I am letting you guys know that I am really scared about the future of Oakland and our children and just all around youth if we don't continue this project. There is so much more rich history and so much of the city of Oakland that will be abolished and gone if we do not continue and seek the project and fight for the Oakland A's to stay. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Megan P. Megan, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you. My name is Megan Pratt, and I'm a lifelong resident of the East Bay, as well as a 7-year resident of Oakland. I really want to thank the Port for their efforts through all of this, and I understand it's been an extremely frustrating process with a less than upfront negotiating partner, but I do really hope you guys keep the door open for Oakland for the Oakland Athletics. I think the community of Oakland needs both a healthy port and this development to go forward. We are asking for roughly 4% of the land on the port, and I think that is a noble use of that land that's not really being utilized right now to keep that door open. So that's it. Thank you so much for your time, and appreciate everyone on this call.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Peggy Yabuhay. Peggy, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, Peggy Yabuhay. I'm the Senior Director of Public Affairs for Union Pacific Railroad. I want to echo our partners that have spoke up today regarding a development in this industrial area. We do encourage the Commission to focus on creating an open process and a renewed commitment to the industrial maritime use of Howard Terminal. We want to echo again, the A's have made it abundantly clear that they were not negotiating in good faith when they signed a binding agreement for land for a future ballpark in Las Vegas. The Port of Oakland is the third busiest port in the state and the main entry point for goods moving across Northern California. This is and continues to be not the right choice for an entertainment and sports development. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Thomas Hafner. Thomas, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, my name's Tom Hafner. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so my name is Thomas. I'm a rather big time Oakland A's fan, I would consider myself. First of all, I would just like to thank the Port of Oakland for all the hard work you guys have poured into this project. I really appreciate it. Secondly, I would like to address the Oakland A's directly. I think you guys are just making a huge mistake with this Las Vegas decision. As you guys know, you guys have plenty of fans outside of Oakland, but the other Oakland A's fans, as well as baseball fans across the country, see what you are doing truly as a disgrace to the game of baseball and the historic legacy of previous Oakland A's teams. And they are simply not going to travel to Las Vegas to see what you have turned this franchise into. I myself will never watch another A's game again if you guys move. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Isiah Shively. Isiah, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, this is Isiah Shively. I've been a lifelong fan for many years, and I was crushed by the news when I heard about this. Not just as a fan, but just someone who loves Oakland. If the A's leave, this would be the third team leaving the city, which is detrimental. Not only would we lose tourism, but think of all the revenue you would lose and if the A's stay, all the benefits for that. I keep hearing about the potential of losing jobs in the waterfront, but what about all the employees that actually work at the Coliseum? No one ever talks about them. I really hope that you guys will extend the negotiation with the A's, and it's for Dave Cavill and John Fisher. Do you really want your legacy to be liars and scam artists, or do you want to stand by the saying rooted in Oakland? Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Alexander Hutton. Alexander, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you, and thank you for holding this meeting. Appreciate it. I just want to say to everyone involved, my name is Alexander Hutton. I am an Oakland native, and I've been to plenty of A's games at the Coliseum in my lifetime. And to everyone involved in this, I just want to say, if you go to the Coliseum in even a decently attended A's game, you can feel the passion and the authenticity and the lifeblood of our incredible city flowing through that stadium every single time they play. And it's not replaceable. It can't be quantified, but it's just irreplaceable if we lose this team. I don't want that to happen. And if we can just do whatever it can, whatever the best way it is to go about keeping this team and keeping that passion within our city, that is the right way to go about this. So I hope we can make that happen. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Vinnie Abram. Vinnie, you've been unmuted. You can unmute yourself.
Zinni Abraham of Zinni 62 Media. My first job with Oakland was with the Oakland Redevelopment Agency in 1987. And I learned how to do tax increment financing from Ezra Rapport. We've treated the A's terribly simply because we forgot how to do redevelopment by former Mayor Libby Schaaf's admission. Wouldn't even give anybody who knows how to do tax increment financing a chance to present the real numbers. And so it's no surprise the Athletics took off, because Las Vegas is about process. We forgot it, but we don't want to review what we've done or do it again. We want to blame somebody else all the time, and I'm tired of it. So if the Athletics leave, I don't blame them for leaving. I've lived this for a generation. We have to change, okay? We have to stop thinking that everybody owes us something and actually work to get something done. We don't do that, except when it matters with respect to the port, and that's it. Other than that, thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our speakers.
Okay. I want to thank all the public speakers who shared your perspective during public comment. I'm always moved by anybody who comes and joins a public meeting and advocates for what you feel so passionately about. And I really appreciate that. I think we're better for it when we are talking about these projects and anything that the port is engaged in. So I want to thank those people who were in the room and the people who joined us on Zoom. And having said that, we are going to convene now in closed session at the hour of 1:46 p.m. Thank you.